all began back in 1973. They had a plebiscite. After the plebiscite, Village Council formed a committee. We call it the Arena Committee. George Fawcett, Stuart Constantine, who was the manager of Lounsbury's at the time. There was a Kopitz from Salisbury, Herb Kierstead. There was a fair number of all local people. Well, I think there was probably 4 or 5 tenders, and the lowest one was Century Construction. And George Franklin, who was the president at the time, they got the job, and they started in the fall of '74. They finished it, and the minor hockey and figure skating and different senior hockey groups moved in and started playing in it. And then they had the official opening. It was in February 1975. Richard Hatfield, Premier at the time, was here, and all the different dignitaries. And one of the big things that we were quite pleasantly surprised about was the amount of donations that came from George Fawcett, the Fawcett Lumber Group, and Canada Cement, which is in Havelock, Canada Lime, all the local businesses. They donated a lot of money. The arena itself was going to cost the village $414,000, and with all the government grants, federal grants, and the donations, it really ended up down to about $95,000 is what the village had to pay for this arena. At the time too, they also had an option to buy extra land, and they did. That's why you see all the Western County Fair land. I guess one of the big things that I remember, one of the guys that worked with me as an engineer, and we talked about we should have a men's league, and we formed a rec league at the time. We played every Sunday and Wednesday, and it got to be quite competitive, but anyway, it was still fun. The rec league was fun for me. I grew up playing hockey over on what we always called the Kiwanis rink. My brother and I would go across the tracks over and play hockey. The village were officially the owners of the ring, but the Kiwanis, it was a Kiwanis arena.
Lloyd Taylor's wife ran the canteen for 2 years. As Kiwanis Club, we took it over in 1976.
We donate to a lot of different things. We've supported the outside rink. Of course, we support minor hockey. When we look at the canteen, we look at it as a fundraiser, but we also look at it as being a service to the community. Not every arena has a canteen. By having a canteen in the arena that's open pretty well all the time, certainly every game it's open, people that come love it and makes Petitcodiac a pretty great location to come to for the arena.
I think it was roughly around 3, 4, maybe 5 years after the arena was built, the Kodiak, which was the Kiwanis Club, decided to put the room upstairs in. And I remember that going down because my dad was heavily involved with Kiwanis back then. It's arena 50 years old. It's been well maintained. And then I chalked that up to arena attendance. You know, in the days, you know, the Bud Tates and the Bud Lounsburys and the Pat Lewises of the world, who and you know, the Eric McKellies, them guys who've taken that arena on. It warms my heart. Really, that's when I see that place full. And it's still full. And it's still going strong. And I mean, it's great. It costs us some money every year to run it. I know. We go in the hole onto it. That's fine. It's a service we provide. But I also ran clock over there for like 15, 20 years for the rec league. There's where I have a lot of the memories. Even before I get into it, the Algonaces and those guys, that arena was plugged full. After 50 years, it's still plugged full.
Critical for businesses to be able to support local community centers like the arena, programs like hockey, figure skating, dance. They cannot keep it running without the support, whether it's businesses, parents, all the volunteers. I mean, it's critical.
Our village of Petty always was behind us, especially the time of the ice show. They were our #1 supporters. Every ice show that we had here was special because it was when the kids got to really show the parents and the community. The bleachers are full every night. It is pretty crazy and amazing how much support we have with our community. Every year we always had that group of new little guys that were excited to get on the ice. We try to promote some skating abilities in minor hockey as well. I've made many lifelong friends. Some of my best friends are now the ones that I was sitting on a board with. You make those connections and your kids are best friends and they go up through the system as best friends. And you become friends with those parents as well, and it's so rewarding. At the end of the day, it was the smiling kids on the ice that definitely what we were here for.
I grew up in Salisbury, and I skated at the Petitcodiac Arena from when I was 3 years old till I graduated high school. Petitcodiac means a lot to me. The rink was a very important part of my life. I was there 5 to 6 days a week, always skating, always training, and I got a ton of support from the community. I think it's really nice to have such a community, and the Petitcodiac Arena has that, and it's really special to me then and now.
I've seen a lot of big moments here with both the kids and with other teams of other children. And it's good when you see people here in this building and it's filled to capacity to watch a Pee Wee game. In the provincials, that's a big deal. And then when you see the midgets, when we hosted the midget provincials with Moncton, the people from Moncton couldn't believe how much support there was in their community for hockey. Being a coach is a position of ultimate responsibility, because you are the guy or the girl who's looking after everyone else's kids. And me, when I coached, I either had 15 sons or 15 daughters. When you watch them and just see them grow, their knowledge of the game, and emotionally how they grow, socially how they grow, and just to see the activity around the arena. I, having coached for as long as I did, 19 years in total, I probably learned more from the players than they ever learned from me. You get to learn a lot about yourself, and a lot about community, a lot about life. Because it's an important activity for the kids. They look forward to it. This building, especially when I played, and then even more so when I coached, I just always felt it was the most important building in our world in the village of Petitcodiac.
I asked Mom and Dad if I could go sign up for minor hockey. Seemed like a normal, my friends are going to sign up, I want to sign up too. So my parents said, sure. I signed up, and I was lucky enough to end up with a coach who was happy to have a girl on his team, which was also something that was not the norm at that time back in the early 70s. And I played on the outdoor rink for my first 2 years, and the second year in Salisbury, they built the Petitcodiac Arena. And so then my third year of hockey, we all joined up together, Salisbury, Petitcodiac, Havelock, everybody, kind of all the small rural communities joined up and played in Petitcodiac at the arena that still stands today, and we are celebrating. I remember it just always feeling that there were people there supporting us. And without that support of my parents, without the support of my coaches, my friends, all my teammates, and the people just in the community, I would never have gone where I went. There's no doubt about it. I had that support. And, anytime we were going to the Petitcodiac Arena, whether it was to play or to watch, or it was a fun place to be.
Community sort of makes the rink, right? The greater community sort of makes the rink. The people within it, when you have young children involved, or even grandchildren now, right? You hang out with the parents and you're connected, right?
The parents that I volunteered with are now the same grandparents now with us that are still there. Can't run the Can Skate program without those kids that went through the program themselves and then went on to skate competitively and recreationally, to be able to be there to help develop the younger kids. So grassroots, every year the ice show, they had a program, so there would be sponsorship in that to help pay for the cost of the ice.
So many great memories, just too many to even to think about.
I support figure skating, minor hockey. We do jersey sponsors for players. We sponsor the Zamboni. Our name's all over that. Everybody loves the Zamboni. Growing up as a kid, everybody wants to drive the Zamboni. So it's kind of cool being able to sponsor it. It's kind of neat sitting in the stands, watching it going round and round and having your name on it. The rink is a great place for the kids to grow. Watching the kids hit the ice for the first time, to watch them play their last games. As a coach, there's no more rewarding experience having that feeling that you've been part of their life journey. The support of the parents, the grandparents, the siblings, and the village is amazing.
The crowds were always so big, and that was one of my favorite parts about playing in Petty was Saturday nights. Like, the atmosphere is just the best. A lot of the coaches that I had when I played in Petty were the same coaches from when I started as to when I ended my hockey career there. All the parents and stuff too, growing up, we were just such a close-knit community, and the people on my teams were we were all so close. We went to school together, we played hockey together, so I'm still friends with a lot of them now. My time at Petty just allowed me to be the hockey player I was. That gave me the ability to play at the AUS level. I definitely owe a lot to the Petty Arena, for sure.
Well, I started here as a kid, probably 14 years old or so. Get to see lots of hockey games and get paid for it. Even working here, people would were very good, very generous people towards the rink and towards the kids. So a few years ago, we had a committee together and we put the addition on, showers and new bathrooms and stuff we really needed. And then a few years later, we put the floor in, which was a major all new floor, all new pipes, all new boards, all new glass. But anyway, we got both projects done. We had committee members on those, which were strictly volunteer. And we had some good people on the committees. Barry Keith was on both committees. And I'm not sure if we could have done both of those projects without Barry's drive and determination. Well, the corner's not quite as famous because we got the net up now, but there was 20 kids down there playing hockey at one time, and the referees get a little mad because we just had the short glass and no net. So I don't know how many times that we had to stop a game to get the tennis ball or a rolled up ball of tape. But yeah, the corner was, the kids learned a lot down in the corner. We never bought a Zamboni. We've never had to put any money out for a Zamboni. That was faucets. We had lots of good support over the years.
Like the shows, the animals that would be around, and just everybody getting together. And the event of the year was the fair. There used to be an old outdoor rink by the medical center. There was horse shows there before my time, and then it just evolved to up here in this field. And we had draft horse shows, we had horse pulls, gymkhana events, and the quarter horse people even put on shows here, 3-day shows on the weekend, where the quarter horses would all come from maritime provinces plus Maine and down in the States. In the draft horse, one year there were 90 plus draft horses here. There was a Queen's pageant, there was gospel night, there was a music night, kids' day. We always had kids' days in here, and prom, which is great. It was beautifully decorated. It was used for dances, wrestling. We had wrestling matches in here, bingo games, breakfast, lunches, dinners, suppers, all during Fair Week up in the Kodiak room, and they would be sold out most nights. I think everybody pulled together for the fair. It wasn't just one person doing it, it was the whole team, and worked well, and everything just went smoothly because everybody knew what needed to be done and did it. And big event of Petitcodiac that drew the crowd in, and they would come from far and wide. The Village of Petitcodiac was substantial. They were the main funder, other than whatever we gained from the government. All the groups worked together real well there through the arena, and all arena staff always was there for us. We did have big crowds, and it was in the arena, and the arena would be full. Started lugging chairs as much as we dared, because you couldn't get too involved with the horses, of course. Woodsman contest, a lot of big names in it. A guy who just passed, Dave Taylor, John Ramsey, all local guys. Got to be a real good show till Roger Fee took it over, and then it really grew. It became almost New Brunswick wide, and maybe more. It became a point show for those contestants. And when there was a guy by the name of Lowton Steves who helped with the fair a lot, not only as running all our draft horse show, but he looked after the horse pull, but he also was a great mentor, and people just believed in him. If we had trouble in the barn, and he started walking down and took care of it, it was no problem. I could go on about the fun we used to have. Yeah, I probably could think of a lot of things, but I wouldn't be allowed to tell you.
I've been around hockey ever since probably 5 years old, and I was right into initiation with Timbits minor hockey. But the highest I went with hockey would have been with Team Canada for the U16 Youth Olympic Games. I call the Petty Rink the centerpiece of the community. That's where people come to meet. That's where they meet new friends, and their families come for events, tournaments. Even in the summer times, it's used for ball hockey or the Westmoreland County Fair, right? They utilize that building, and it's just awesome. You look at the major cities, they obviously have big sports plexes that have ice rinks attached to a gymnasium, attached to a swimming pool, attached to everything else. But they don't have the heart and stuff that a small community would.
Myself and John Steves probably the longest serving presidents of minor hockey. But it wouldn't have been possible if the village of Petitcodiac weren't so easy to deal with. Pat came to me and said, why don't we contact the Wildcats and bring them out? Would minor hockey be willing to help out? And I said, yes, we would do that. And they came out on 2 different occasions, and the rink was completely full. It was awesome because they came and actually give us a donation for coming too. You want to talk about community spirit. Lucky Nyack, he bought a lot of jerseys. He is a very kind-hearted guy, and he's got a soft spot for the kids.
Sussex Figure Skating Club was where we went before 8 Tazars started. We were there for about 5 years before the arena got built. So Mom would drive us down during the week, and on the weekends she would pick up Wendy, Cindy, and a bunch of other people, take them all down in the same car, and then drive us all back. So when the arena got built, that was when they decided we got to have a figure skating club here. Once the momentum was there, it got going quite well. There was over 100 skaters in the club. We used to have 3 ice shows, and every single ice show was completely full. Pretty much sold out, standing room only. There was a huge community support for it all. When they had the hockey tournaments, on the Sunday when everybody was in their final games, the senior girls figure skaters had to come out and present the medals to the winning team. Once your kids went through the door, you didn't have to worry about them again because everybody looked out for everybody's kid. It was such a safe space. We always looked out for each other.
I started in the Can Skate program when I was 3 years old at the Petitcodiac Arena. My parents put me on the ice and I just kind of took right off. I stayed on the ice for years and years. I grew up in the rink. When I was 12 years old, I qualified to go to the Canada Winter Games, and they were in Corner Brook, Newfoundland that year. And I remember the support from the community. I remember my dad, he drove me down Main Street, and every business had some form of "Congratulations, Megan" in their windows. And I still remember the feeling of that community support. I have yet to find better onion rings than the onion rings that you can get at the Petitcodiac Arena.
Growing up being a flyer and making memories and friendships in that rink, it's incredible to think that it's already been 50 years that, you know, kids have had the opportunity to play and, you know, start their hockey journey there. I want to be where I am today if it wasn't for that rink and the staff and everyone that made it possible, if it was public skate or even, you know, growing up through minor hockey. So just want to say congrats and all the best. Here's so many more years.
This 50 years of the arena has been 50 great years of the arena.
If it wasn't for volunteers, we wouldn't be here. So, and right from day one to 50 years later, there's still the volunteers that definitely make it work.
The Petty Arena has a very big heart.
It is the heart of our community.
It's just a place for people to get together from all walks of life, all ages.
That rink it's a community rink. It's the heart and soul of the community.
I think it's a place everyone can be. Everybody feels included.
That's been the central heartbeat of Petitcodiac.
That space definitely was a safe space.
The arena has brought this community so much.
The rink truly is the heart of this community.
It just means a lot to the community, and I can't speak enough about it.
Nothing brings a community together more than a small rink.
This is the shack. This is our barn. It's the most important building in the town.